Hi, I'm Freddie from Neogen Audio, and today I'm talking about the Loudness Toolkit. Loudness Toolkit is a bundle of 3 plugins which can be bought separately, or they can also be bought as part of the full bundle. On the left here is ISL, which is our true peak limiter. On the right is VisLM, which is a timecode locked loudness meter with a history function, and in the middle is LM Correct, which is a faster than real-time loudness correction tool. All 3 of these run in up to 712 channels, so that means that they can be used as part of an immersive workflow, for example Dolby Atmos, or any other immersive or 3D format. So let's go through the UI of each plugin. First of all, ISL. It looks fairly self-explanatory as far as limiters go. And this is the 712 version, so the number of channels you can see on there will obviously be dictated by the number of channels that you're using in your project. So if I start sending some audio through, you can see how that looks. I've got things coming through all 10 of my channels there. In the middle, you have the amount of gain reduction that's happening. So at the moment, there's not a lot happening, but if I increase my input gain, you can see there is some reduction going on, and it's fairly self-explanatory, not a lot to say. The only thing that needs pointing out about ISL is that unlike most limiters, it's a true peak limiter. So the difference between true peak limiting and sample peak limiting is that true peak limiting is much safer for things like streaming, broadcast, mastering for vinyl, a whole bunch of different things like that. The reason for that is that most of the time when you listen to digital audio, what you're actually hearing is a digital reconstruction of an analog waveform. That means that peaks can occasionally happen in between the samples. So a true peak limiter takes into account what we call inter-sample peaks. That means that if there's any kind of codec distortion or any other processing which happens further downstream, ISL preempts that, which means that it's a lot safer for any of those kind of applications. On the right hand side here is VisLM. You can see that I'm working on quite a loud project here, so we've got a lot of true peak overs that have appeared on the VisLM UI. But essentially what this plugin does is it measures the loudness of your audio and it builds up a picture over the entire course of the project. So unlike traditional loudness meters where you would have had to play an entire project through in one fell swoop, you can chop and change, jump around the project, and it will build up the line graph of the entire thing and gradually join those together. So that means you can place VisLM at the end of the master bus when you start your project, leave it running in the background, forget about it, and by the time that you've made all the edits that you want to make, you should have an accurate picture of the loudness of your project already there. So by default, it shows you the short-term loudness, the integrated loudness, and the loudness range, but there are other pieces of information that it can show. You can view true peak information. You can also see the momentary loudness, you can see the dialogue LRA and the integrated dialogue loudness. So that means that it can be used for mixing for platforms like Netflix, which require a dialogue LRA and an integrated dialogue loudness. So that's VisLM. Finally, we have LM Correct. LM Correct can be bought on its own, or it can be bought with the Dynapt extension. If you buy the full Loudness Toolkit bundle, then it automatically comes with that Dynapt extension. The Dynapt extension just gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of the functionality of the plugin. As I said at the start, this is a faster than real-time loudness correction tool. So if I highlight some audio and hit Analyze, it tells me where I'm at. So at the moment, that's measuring minus 23.2 LUFS. My target right now is minus 23. So rather than me spending more time on my mix trying to get it exactly right, if I'm already happy with how the mix is sounding and it's kind of close enough, then I can hit render and LM Correct will automatically bring it up to whatever loudness standard I'm looking for. With the Dynapt extension, it's able to correct for integrated and short-term loudness simultaneously, so that means that it might have multiple gain adjustments throughout the project, whereas without the Dynapt extension and without that dynamics function enabled, it is just one adjustment which covers the entire thing. So that was the Loudness Toolkit. If you have any questions about these products, then please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.